like to say that it's 100 days of unspeakable crimes against the Kashmiri people, 100 days of flaunting international law, of flaunting human rights, globally accepted human rights. There is no schools for the children. There's no electricity. Kashmir right now is enduring a quite strong snowstorm. And during this time, people are literally freezing. You know, it's beyond the grasp of most people what this Hindutva fascist government is capable of doing, but it's truly horrifying, and the international community has failed to act, failed to uphold its own standards and law, and hold India accountable for the crimes it's committing against civilians, men, women, and children, who have only one aspiration, which is the aspiration to determine their own future in line with international law.
Okay, so you obviously don't expect much then from the international community. So I mean, what can be done? How does this get resolved?
Well, the mobilization is already happening as we speak. Several organizations, reputable, hardworking, World Kashmir Awareness Forum, there is Stand with Kashmir, Kashmir Global, there's many. They're all coming out and organizing themselves, pushing for an increased internalization and absolutely mediation in regards. Otherwise, I'm afraid the alternative is going to be very ugly. And just to put this into perspective for our viewers, this is the UN designated disputed territory. It does not belong to anybody. This needs to be repeated because India always tries to phrase this and contain it within secessionist or terrorist dialogue or issue, but that's absolutely false. This is the disputed territory. It's been disputed since 1947 for 72 years. And as a matter of fact, even longer than that when you look at it from the Kashmiri perspective. But this is a nuclear flashpoint. These are very serious crimes that have happened to the Kashmiri people over the last 70 years or so. You know, there's almost 100,000 dead, 80,000 orphans. There's more than 10,000 women that have been raped and molested. These are serious crimes if you compare them to any other world hotspot, and it's shocking.
You say that it's a matter of national security. You talk about terrorism. You talk about protecting people's lives. But you're not just arresting people there who are violent, are you? You have detained without trial, without charge, 3 former Indian chief ministers of what you once called the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir. One of them is Mehbooba Mufti, who was in coalition with your party, the BJP, until just last year. But now suddenly she's locked up as well.
So, Mehdi, first of all, I think you will agree that, to disagree with any of the government decision is fine, but you cannot incite violence because under our constitution, even the right to freedom of speech and expression comes with a rider that there can be reasonable restrictions on the exercise of the right, especially in the interest of our sovereignty and integrity of India. Mehbooba Mufti, who was a former chief minister, took oath of the constitution that she will protect and preserve the Constitution of India and its spirit. And do you know the statement that she made? She said, if Article 370 and 35A, and Article 370 is temporary, so if it is abrogated, then there would be no one left to even honor the tricolour. That's our national flag. And I think it is highly inflammatory.
Yeah,
it is inciting
come on,
the country.
Come on, Gaurav. You and I both know Indian politicians, including yourself, say lots of inflammatory statements. She's being detained without charge. Why not try her then? Put her on trial. You have detained her without charge. You have detained 3 former chief ministers. Democracies are not supposed to detain people without charge or without a trial.
Let me explain that to you. You are wrong there as well. Mehdi, there is a law in India which is called the preventive detention. Okay? You can keep a person under preventive detention for the greater good of the country and the state. And the provisions
without
have
charge.
And I ask you...
Without charge, Gaurav.
No, please.
But without charge, just to clarify for our viewers, without charge, yes or no?
Public Safety Act is the act in question.
But it's without charge, right? You can hold someone without charge. You're a lawyer. You know the importance of that statement. No, you said I'm wrong. What am I wrong about? Is she being held without charge? It's a very simple question.
There are reasons. The reason is only this, that they want to spread propaganda. They are not worried about the Kashmiris. They only care for
Are you holding 3 former chief ministers without charge or trial? Yes or no?
In one line I answer. Anybody who is under preventive custody is in preventive custody in accordance with law.
You didn't answer my question. Are they being held without charge or trial? Yes or no? It's one word. You don't need one sentence. Yes or no?
No. I'm saying you're wrong there.
Which charge? So they have been charged. So they have been charged.
You have to understand the law of preventive.
Yes, it's a very
detention,
controversial law because it allows you to detain people without charge or trial.
No.
That's why it's so controversial.
No, it's not. Maybe it's not. It's not controversial. So but I can very, proudly say one thing on your program, that not a single Kashmiri has, lost his life due to a bullet fired by the army or the police in Jammu and Kashmir.
In a democracy, nobody should be above the law. I think you and I can both agree on that. And yet, India has passed laws which allow security forces to kill with what United Nations investigators have called impunity. They say there are virtual impunity against prosecution for any human rights violation. In the nearly 28 years that your laws have been enforced, this is what the UN says, there has not been a single prosecution of armed forces personnel for alleged extrajudicial killings, rape, enforced disappearances. Why haven't you prosecuted any soldiers who are accused of these crimes?
So let me first tell you that our army is the most disciplined army in the world.
August of this year, your government suspended the freedom of movement of more than 8 million of its own citizens, cut off their internet and telephone access for more than 2 months, arbitrarily detained thousands of them, from elected politicians to school kids. I'm talking, of course, about the lockdown in Indian-administered Kashmir since August the 5th. Which other democracy on earth treats its own citizens in this way?
Now, when a historical decision is taken, which ought to have been taken earlier, you have to ensure the safety of the lives of every Indian and also the Kashmiris who are there. So life of a citizen definitely is far more important than the civil liberties that you are talking about.
But what we're talking about is what the United Nations' own human rights experts have called collective punishment. UN human rights experts from the US, from France, from Canada, from Togo, they said in August, and I quote, "The blackout is a form of collective punishment of the people of Jammu and Kashmir without even a pretext of a precipitating offense." And multiple human rights groups agree with them.
I have full faith in the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Just the way 130 crores, 1.3 billion have their faith in the most revered institution.
The whole exercise was aimed at creating better integration of Kashmir with the rest of the country. And that integration has to happen in mind and heart.
Yes.
Has anything of that kind happened? Yeah. My observation, and this is limited to Kashmir, I have no idea of Jammu or Ladakh. In the valley, an already bad, complicated situation has been made much, much worse. What we have achieved in the last 100 days is that we have virtually eliminated the middle ground that existed in Kashmir.
Right.
Anyone who could stand for India, anyone who could stand for tricolor, anyone who could talk about the idea of India has been shut up now completely. The entire political opinion spectrum has been shifted to the right.
Yeah.
Yes, Farooq Abdullah and Mehbooba Mufti may be released at some point, but by now they are irrelevant. People don't even look at that. In fact, they are saying good riddance, chalo khatam hua, acha hua.
In fact,
Jilani sahi baat kehta
you
tha.
raised